You just got out of junior, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. The second 2025 starts, then I'll be out of junior.
Let me tell you something.
Wait, how does that work? So
within the calendar year.
It's in the calendar year? Okay.
Yeah, so I turn 24 next year. So that makes me 24 the entire year.
But when do you turn 24?
June.
Isn't it past June that it's allowed?
I was talking to Luke, and he said, like, just within the calendar year, like, because I turned 24, I have to be.
They do the same thing for Worlds, too. Like, you can't be sub-junior, or you can't be a junior going to sub-junior. If you're going to be a junior that year,
yeah, you have to.
In the world, you're technically junior, but at nationals, you might be a sub-junior, but it's all weird.
What they let that at NAPF.
Good.
And like if you're 18, you can still be sub-junior.
And sometimes Luke Mellon doesn't know what he's talking about. So.
Yeah, Luke, fuck you.
Jesus.
Can I swear on this?
I mean, you can, but
don't.
Only when you need to.
Only when you need to.
So when I'm talking about Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Then it's all right.
Biggest bodyweight bench press I've ever seen. He even doesn't even.
Wait, when's your birthday? June what?
June 2nd.
I swear it was past June. Like, if it was July, that was the rule last year.
I don't know.
Wasn't it?
Well, when I signed up for juniors, the category it put me in online was open. It like said where everyone says like sub junior.
See, that's weird.
But that's automatic.
See, that's just that's just so weird because like I think I've signed up for meets that were like in August. Oh wait, no, I'm going stupid. Never mind. I lost my train of thought. Keep talking.
That was it, dude. I was done talking.
Keep talking.
But yeah, so like it was after my birthday's after the thing.
Yes.
Like juniors, but Luke said that I can't, so I'm doing the open.
So you're telling me a guy born if there's a national meet it's in July?
No, it's in May.
It's in May.
Juniors is in May.
It's in May. Your birthday's on July.
June.
So it's in May, and if I was born in December,
yeah, you would be.
I would be a open
out.
Lifter.
Yeah,
that's wild, man.
But
the whole year goes over, huh?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense though.
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But that's what he said the rule is. So I just said.
I just don't think he wanted to do some extra effort on his side.
I was already signed up, dude. He didn't have to do anything. He did extra effort to put me into opens.
Did you tell him your birthday?
Yeah.
This might be a new rule change.
It could be.
Because that wasn't the case before.
Well, like you said, NAPF just happened this year.
Yeah. And they did.
They did that.
Yeah, they let.
And that's not a PA thing. That's a IPF
That was
thing.
an IPF.
So that might be a PA thing only.
Yeah. That's odd.
But it should follow the IPF rules.
Yeah.
They don't always. USAPL didn't always do that either. Like USAPL has like a Teen 1, Teen 2, Teen 3 division. It's all sub junior. So nations can like divide stuff and make their own rules like that kind of stuff. But once you go to Worlds, you go to Worlds. So it's kind of unwise to make too many different changes. You know, that's why like all those teen categories for USAPL isn't that bad of a thing. Yeah, you might be a Teen 2 national champion, but you'll get dogged in the sub junior Worlds.
Yeah,
but like sense. That's about it. But like, let's say they did something like that. That's not really that big of a deal leading into Worlds. But I guess they want to make sure you're eligible for nationals if you're going to sign up for junior nationals.
I guess. Yeah.
Then they got to make sure you're going to go to Worlds next year as a junior. Which if you age out, they probably can't.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. That could be.
Oh, that makes sense.
I get what you're saying.
Okay. That might be. They want a guaranteed junior for next year's nationals or Worlds. Sorry, yeah. Worlds.
But that's still an odd way to do it.
It's a very odd way because like he definitely he's eligible age wise, but just let him go. I mean, he just won't go to Worlds. The guy next guy will go to Worlds.
Huge too when you switch from.
It's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's either if I do 74, it's either perk, or if I do 83, it's.
I say just keep gaining weight.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Trust me, it gets easier as you go up, dude. 105s.
There we go.
How tall are you?
I don't know, 5'11", 6 feet.
So you should be around like 220.
Yeah, you would think.
275.
So
let's get up there.
I don't even know where to start. This is the American Iron Podcast. This is Kai Winston.
I'm Kai.
He just competed at Legions.
I sure did.
He's made a lot of progress over the course of years.
That's what they tell me.
What weight class did you start in?
66. I weighed in at 60 kilos.
That's wild.
I was like 137 pounds.
He was almost a 59.
I was almost a 59.
At 5'11".
Yeah. It is really terrifying to look at me. I look like Jack Skellington.
And now you're pushing into the 74s.
83s.
You want to get to 83?
Yeah, I just did Legions I was 72.3. So
Did you cut for that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How much did you cut?
like 4 kilos.
I want to say just from now on, just keep bulking.
That's what I'm
Perma-bulk.
gonna do. Yeah.
Okay.
Permabulk.
I'm gonna drink a gallon of milk every day, and I'm gonna feel terrible every day.
Go mad, baby.
Because, I mean,
Please don't.
I'll die.
your lifts have gone up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, every time I gain like 1 kilo of body weight, everything goes up by like 10%.
That's kind of the case.
It's pretty nice.
The leverage has changed, though.
Yeah, my bench has changed, I think.
Your bench has... What? When you started working with me, what was the bench at? Do you remember?
Dude, I don't even, like, not even a plate. Like 100 pounds, probably.
I think it was like 100 pounds.
It probably was 100 pounds. It's pretty terrible.
And now where are you at?
My all-time was 77.5 kilos, so I don't know what that is.
That is...
170.
Yeah.
That is 170.
Yeah.
Damn.
So pretty good.
Just a year.
Like
Two?
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years.
Year and a half? I think no, it's been about 2 years.
2 years.
I think your biggest improvement was definitely deadlift.
Yeah, I mean, deadlift started at like, I think I pulled 246 at my first meet, and then I just did like 420 at Legions.
That's a
Nice.
big
We
difference.
like doubled it almost, so.
And it keeps going up.
Yeah.
It like keeps connecting more and more,
Yeah, the
Same-
more weight I gain, I feel like the more it gets better.
which is odd because that's usually not the case.
It's usually
for
the
deadlift.
opposite.
Yeah,
He's so skinny though.
that is. I
It
mean,
just works.
It's going to take a long time before leverage becomes a disadvantage for him on deadlift.
I'll need to weigh like 300 pounds before it.
And then you just go conventional.
I think what was your
Rip
squat?
like 900 off the floor.
Exactly.
How much has your squat gone up?
Probably by about like 150 pounds.
It's also a big change.
Yeah. I think it's almost more than doubled as well.
I think like just crazy that you started at 60 kilos. Honestly,
It's ridiculous.
So-
It's ridiculous.
So what I like is like he's obviously stronger and he's obviously gained weight, but he's like significantly stronger despite the weight gain. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people be like, "Oh, you're only strong because you gained weight." It's like, well, yes, but also like
But-
he's significantly like ratio-wise much better of an
Oh,
athlete
yeah.
and a person because of that. Like it's not just because he gained weight.
You're also a lot healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't look like I'm, malnourished.
Yeah, it's like being that light. Even if you were like 5'5",
Yeah, it's still not good.
that would be pretty rough.
I mean, there's a reason why everybody in like the 59 and the 66 is like 5'4".
How tall?
Max.
How tall is Austin Perkins?
5'5".
Oh,
Yeah.
but he's 74. He's 74,
Yeah.
Yes.
and so that's a big difference.
I mean, even the 83s, the best lifters
yeah.
are always shorter than you expect them to be. Like,
Russell Orr, he's like 5'7".
or he's like 1 inch shorter than us, And it's not till like the 93s and 105s. Like even Ruska's like slightly shorter than me, and then
Yeah.
who's it? Petrie? He's taller than us.
Yeah, but your height plays a big role into what weight class you're supposed to be.
It's a height class.
Yeah, it's a height
disguise.
class.
I think
guys,
isn't there
that's what
like
they say.
Bodybuilding has height classes.
Is that what it is?
Some of the divisions do, I think.
actually yeah, I think some of the divisions do. Yeah, they cut off your height.
Whether it's physique or open, I forgot what it is, but they have height classes.
Like you can only be a certain height,
Mhm.
certain weight.
Right.
Your shoulders can only be so broad.
Can only
Not,
look
not
so
an
good.
issue in powerlifting, ladies and gentlemen.
Get the broader shoulders.
So
you can.
what is like? You're not from Reno.
No, I'm from Santa Cruz. I'm from
And
California.
you came to school in Reno first? or-
Yeah, I went to UNR for like 3 years, and then I started powerlifting because they kicked us all out for COVID. I couldn't live here anymore, so I went back home. And then my friends told me one day, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna start going to the gym. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Sure." And then started doing that, and then just like dove into the YouTube rabbit hole and started seeing people powerlift, and then I was like, "That sounds fun."
Okay. So when were you like, I need a coach? And how did you pick your coach?
Pretty much, like, so I started going to the gym in Santa Cruz for maybe like 3 months, and then I moved here, and then I found American Iron, and I was like, I should go there. That's like it looks like a cool gym, so I'll go there. And then I remember I still remember one day I saw you. I think I needed like a spot on bench, or I don't know, so I needed like help on something, and you like gave me all these tips, and I was like, that was very helpful. And then however much long after that, I was like, I should get a coach. And then I was like, I like this guy because he was like very nice to me in the gym. So
It goes a long way.
yeah,
I still remember you coming up and asking. That was like I think I was working the desk that day.
you were.
And yeah, you just came up and asked, and I was like,
You just gave me. You were like, "What are you doing today? Deadlifts?" And just gave me like all this like stuff to do, and I was like, "Okay."
Hell yeah. It's like the best way to go
It
about
was
it.
great.
and now I've basically coached you every single meet. How many meets have you done?
I think that was number 6.
Holy.
So
That's actually a lot.
you've coached him for all his meets?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were like powerlifting pre-COVID, but you weren't competing.
No, so I got into I got into powerlifting.
Same, brother.
I got into powerlifting like because there was nothing else to do
Okay, I see.
because I was just stuck at home.
I get that. Hell yeah, dude. What's your favorite part about coaching Kai, Coach?
He listens. That's like
Such
literally
a big
that
deal,
is like
dude.
the biggest thing is like whatever I tell you, you just do.
Yeah.
And you don't try to fight it.
Yeah.
You just listen exactly what I say.
I mean, if I fight it, I'm not going to get any stronger.
No.
There's
I
no
mean-
reason to not do it, you know?
I'm literally paying you. Why would I not listen?
Why would I not listen?
But a lot of your athletes have great like reception towards feedback. I'm not going to lie. 90% of your athletes do.
What do you mean by that?
You tell them something, and even if they're like joking, like I don't want to do that, they'll do it. You know, like Heaven's a good example. Like I need you to do this with your bench, and she'll like fight back.
No, yeah.
But she still ends up doing it. Kai, I don't know. I haven't seen you coach Kai, but it feels like he's pretty receptive.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll complain about it. I'm still
Yeah.
going to do it, but I'm going to
You'll
complain about it.
But I mean, at least most everybody will just kind of do it.
yeah.
And like, yeah, you never go off program unless it's like off season.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I have, not when I'm like prepping for anything, but like if I'm like, here and there.
And you actually listen. You trust the process every single time when we go into like a peaking
Oh, yeah.
phase. That's always been like the biggest thing.
Yeah, one thing so you started working with Brandon 2 years ago, and you just had absolute trust. Was it your first coach, first of all?
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you just go in like, this is my guy, absolute trust, or did you have to like kind of build that with him? Because like you trust Brandon a lot, like you praise him, you trust him and everything, and it's like, well, I don't feel like that comes naturally at first.
Well, so like my very first meet, you weren't coaching me yet, but you were there. You like were still helping me. And then after that, I was like, I did pretty well. And then I went to you started coaching me, and then we basically immediately started prepping for Legions. So I just was like, all right, see how it goes through the whole thing. And then Legions, the first year, was amazing. I did so good. Like I was having such a good time because of like your coaching. So I was like, yeah, seems like he knows what he's doing. Stick it out.
This guy sounds smart. I
Yeah.
don't know if he actually is, but he sounds amazing.
I mean, yeah, like from the first meet, which was, I think the States here.
It was what was it called? Nevada State
Yeah, it was like Nevada-
Championship.
yeah. From that to Legions in like 6 months or however much that time was, everything went up. My whole total went up by like 60 kilos or something.
and then you're like, this guy knows.
Yeah, I was
He
like,
knows what
this
he's
is
talking about.
Yeah, I was like, this seems pretty good.
I feel like you haven't had a bad meet.
Legions last year was my worst meet, and the only reason it was bad was because I failed my bench because my calf cramped up, and I was
That's
pissed
right,
off
yeah.
about that.
But everything else,
Yeah, I mean, I got like a 10 kilo PR on squat, and I matched my deadlift.
you've gone into every meet like literally telling me how good you feel.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, I mean, I like every peak, I always tell you, like, I'm like, I feel so bad, but I'm really excited. Because it's peak, I mean, like, you're going to feel bad.
I think that's a big thing that people don't understand about peaking phases is you're going to feel terrible. I think Joe Sullivan just talked
Would
about
you use
that.
the word overtrain or just the word fatigued? Accumulated
fatigued.
fatigue.
I think it would be like just a general CNS fatigue.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is like you want that fatigue because if you feel really good during that time, that just means you probably haven't been training hard enough. You're not training your central nervous system enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to go into the meet with way less workload capacity. So I try to tell everyone you're going to feel awful, especially that like second to last week.
Yeah.
You're going to feel absolutely terrible. But then you take that deload and then you're bouncing off
Feel
the walls.
great, yeah.
And usually with you, I've stuck to the same peaking protocol.
And it works great every time.
Like every single one of his meets.
Yeah.
So for Kai, he's an above average height lifter, and doesn't have that much body weight on him. Do you have to do anything special with that, or do you think your own principles have been working pretty well with him just in general?
I mean, just like slight form changes.
Yeah.
That's all it's been. hammering certain stuff on deadlift, like upper back tightness.
We'll get that eventually.
That's the one thing I've
We'll
really
get there.
tried to hammer.
We'll get there.
Bench, you've learned. I think you used to do like a really big arch,
Yeah, it's come down.
and then I told you to start doing a longer arch,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and I think that works a lot better for like
Yeah.
taller people.
Instead of just trying to compress your back as much as you
I was
can.
going to say elaborate, longer arch.
And so like, instead of like getting that big arch
Mm-hmm.
that goes into with the leg drive, now you're pushing into your lower back.
Okay.
You're not being able to push into your upper back, versus a long arch. That's still, you're just like, it's barely just different.
Right.
But now you're pushing all that energy into your upper back instead of your lower back.
Okay.
Peyton does this too. The like longer arch. If you've ever watched him bench, it's like you
Very
can almost
few
see
times.
when he like presses out, his whole like torso moves upwards along
Yeah.
the bench because it's like longer. You're not pushing straight into your lower back, you're pushing more into your traps.
I get that.
You'll see that a lot with people. You'll see the difference between if someone's pushing into their upper back or if they're pushing into their lower back.
Would you say I have a high arch, not a long arch? Because I feel the same way. Like when you say like you see Peyton's like back just completely shift up. That's what I focus on. But I also feel like I just have the ability to arch higher. Would you say that's like a good example of a high arch? Or
I would have to like honestly get a side view, but
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like you're pushing into your lower back. You can tell by the angle of their butt.
okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
If the butt is like, I don't know how to describe it. If it's
No,
almost,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, if like it's got to be at the angle. Like for me, it's a leg angle.
yeah,
So you can really tell by the angle of their legs, like where they're really pushing into their arch, or if they really are even pushing into their arch or not.
and the biggest thing I think is like with the feet.
Yeah.
So to me, people bring the feet back,
Mhm.
and now you're pushing into your quads and your lower back. I don't think you're really pushing into your actual upper back.
That's also why my back would cramp so much. My lower back would cramp so much is because I was trying to force like an artificial too high of an arch rather than like just extending and pushing through my upper back.
And so like it's that false sense of tightness.
Yeah.
You think that you're going to be stronger that way because less range of motion, but it never.
You just bring the bar down to your chest and then you're stuck and it doesn't go anywhere.
No.
You know, it works for equipped lifters because that wedge,
Yeah.
it's less leg drive intently, but you're not going to lose that arch, that touch point. And speaking of equipment, when are you going to try it?
We put me in wraps before.
Yeah, he's got the Inzer ones with like the grippy stuff on it.
Yeah.
Oh, the grippers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've had both you and I've wrapped myself and I've had Bowman wrap my legs. And every single time the like main struggle for me was like just punching down to get like depth and like actually propel with the knee wraps, like get any sort of benefit.
Was
out
that
of them.
a mental block because of pain tolerance or?
I'd say that's part of it. I think it's also just the fact that it's like they're smaller. They cover like less surface area on my legs, so I think it's also like a placebo thing. Like, oh, there's less coverage, so it's not going to help me as much as like my sleeves would.
Yeah. The pain tolerance comes eventually. It feels like there's nothing on there. Then it's easier to just send it down, like the
Yeah.
inner sleeves and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you can.
Yeah, those were
And
hard to
then
get
if
used to,
somebody
too.
wraps you, or if you wrap yourself, just take up more space on your knee in general.
Yeah.
So that'd be a good way to negate that
Yeah,
if you
that's-
ever get back into wraps.
Yeah.
That's also, yeah, that's a big difference is like the length of it versus like a lot of people want to bow it up into one spot.
Yeah.
That's just going to cause more pain versus, I mean,
Cover the whole thing.
yeah, sometimes too tight is bad.
Oh yeah.
I think we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about with bench shirts and knee wraps because like some people can't handle the tight knee wrap. You know, like somebody my size and Brandon's size could probably handle really tight knee wraps much better than like somebody your size. Just
Yeah.
because simply the force you need, your body weight, the leverage just isn't there.
Yeah, yeah.
And a bench shirt's the same way. A lot of people try to get a tighter bench shirt, and then they can't touch until they get a lot of weight, and now they can't press it up.
Yeah.
So it's like find what fits you is the biggest thing with
You
the
have to find the
quick lifting.
medium.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
because like I could give you a super katana bench shirt, which is like a really advanced level bench shirt, but you're honestly not built for that yet.
Yeah.
You'd have to be good with like a Fury and F6. It has longer arm sleeves and it has less of a chest, so you're not fighting as much down, but it'll still give you that push out.
Right, yeah.
Versus me and him can use like a super katana with the low cut collar or something, you know. So it's whatever fits your body type. I mean, there's the best thing that everybody always gets, but you gotta get like
You have to
what
work your
are you
way
going
up
to get
it.
out of it exactly?
I mean, also, if you don't know how to use it, then you're just going to, you can't get everything out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like with you, the biggest thing that has changed over the years is squats.
Yeah.
Just in terms of form.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing for him?
Just
All of it.
Take
a million different
anything.
things. We've tried everything.
Anything.
Big
yeah.
toe came up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I've tried
know.
probably every foot width position that you could think of, aside from just like full
It's fun.
sumo squat.
Didn't you try flats before too?
Yeah, I started in flats. That was nightmare.
Just the ankle mobility and
I
stuff.
have
It's just
no
not.
ankle mobility.
And so,
Do you have ankle mobility now?
I don't think it's got worse.
see, that's the thing with squat shoes. I try to avoid them at all costs. But sometimes you just
There's some people that need them.
gotta
yeah,
take
you
'em.
just kind of have to do it. So I try to avoid it at all costs. But if like it needs to be done, it needs to be done. And you know, I've had countless people ask me, "Should I get squat shoes? Should I get squat shoes?" What I tell them is, if you need them, yes, but remember that now you have to commit to that.
You have to wear them.
Yeah.
There's no other.
You can't switch off.
There's
Yeah.
no other choice, but you have to commit to the squat shoes. And it's mostly like an ankle mobility thing. So I like to I'll usually just test it.
Mhm.
Test if they need the ankle mobility or not. Most people do not. But with you,
Yeah.
it just,
I mean, when I was squatting in flats too, I would had to compress and crumple my upper body to basically get depth all the way.
that has to do with the height too.
I was about to ask, does his hips have to travel a longer distance than
Yeah.
most others? Yeah. Is he a long? Don't really pay attention to your legs. My bad. Is he a long
This guy.
femur lifter, or is he just overall his hips have to travel so far down?
I think so. Yeah,
I
it's
would
like
think they're longer than average.
they are longer than average because
Okay.
you can see by the way there is like a longer distance he has to travel, especially when we played around with the foot width.
I'm trying to remember how you squat. He's not narrow, but he's like not a super wide squatter at all.
No, he's
It's-
like a
He's
standard.
a pretty
Yeah.
standard squatter.
But we've
like
tried
shoulder width.
in, out,
All of it.
yeah.
Flats, heels, high bar, mid bar, low bar, foot pressure, all that stuff. Just
Right.
did it all.
You still do the super low bar.
Not as bad as it was.
He told me he used to do the
Not
France
as
low bar.
French.
Not nearly as bad.
That
as
was like
was.
it was below your rear delts,
Yeah, it was. I was squeezing it up into my rear delts basically.
and I hated it.
It was. I mean, it was interesting.
Have-
Didn't really do a whole lot.
I imagine
For
it
me.
doesn't. Yeah.
Have you had any injuries?
No.
It's actually very surprising.
No,
very good.
No.
That's very surprising.
Hats off.
Yeah.
To be like lifting that long and
Yeah.
just nothing nagging.
Lifting that long, great progress, no lasting injuries. It's the perfect combo. It's
Pretty
what
impressive.
you want.
Yeah. I mean, like knock on wood.
Yeah.
Like hopefully it's just
Yeah.
So talk about injuries. A lot of people leading into Legions had something, whether it was knee, back, shoulder.
yeah. There was a lot.
A lot of us had something going in. So
Yeah.
you
I know
were
you
you were relatively healthy.
Yeah, I felt great. I
Good.
normally before meets too. I feel like this happens with a lot of powerlifters too. Is everyone will get sick. It's four or 5 weeks out, you
Oh,
get
yeah.
a cold.
It's that central nervous system starting
Yeah.
to really take a hit.
That normally happens to me. I didn't get that this time.
Mm.
I didn't get there was no injuries, no cold, no sickness, anything. So that's I think what came in very clutch.
Quick
for the-
side note: there's a good evidence about sickness, and after you're done being sick, you still have all the surplus of
Yes,
antibodies in your
yes.
system.
Um,
That's there's
so
a
go out
there's
and get
a legit thing about science research about Michael Jordan's flu game.
Mm.
He had such a surplus of good things in his body along with the bad things that it just actually helped him a little bit.
that's
But he's also just a freak of nature.
Go out and lick some poles.
that's like the Russian
Exactly.
like powerlifter belief.
Mm-hmm.
It was like an old Russian thing where they talked about get a cold right before a meet.
Your body will actually be healthier than ever.
Then you're
So
great.
I've had countless meets where I've gotten sick right before,
Oh yeah.
and then right after I just feel amazing.
Mhm.
You feel terrible.
I always get sick the week after a meet.
That's common too.
Yeah.
So,
But you got to also think you're at a meet, people everywhere.
people CNS drained,
Your CNS is gone. There is nothing protecting your body anymore.
ammonia in your nose, burning your barrier.
Yeah.
You've touched a bar everybody else has touched,
Yeah.
and so
So back to Legions. You just competed, didn't you? at
I did,
Legions?
I
So
did.
how you feeling about that afterwards? Having time to ponder now.
Yeah. We went in with the plan that, it was I already qualified for nationals, so just go in, we're just gonna have a fun time. So, I went in and I was like, we're just gonna, hit all the openers, just have fun. And then hit the squat, which was a meet PR, and I came out of that and I was like, okay, I think that was good. like let's see what happens. Bench tied my meet PR. Deadlift hit a meet PR.
Nice.
Almost all-time PR. And I was at the end of it, I was like, wow, I didn't think that we were gonna like push these like big numbers, but I feel like that was exactly what I had.
Nice.
So I mean, it couldn't have gone better or worse. It was perfect.
Yeah, it felt like
So were you like mentally thrown off with like, wow, I'm in this thing now, or like
Yeah, like normally, going into a meet,
kind of funny actually.
yeah, right?
normally like going into a meet, I'll have like all this like nervousness. When I did university nationals, I was in the back like walking laps around the whole warm up room.
Yeah.
And then this time, like in Legions, I was just sitting back there on the bench, just like throwing back snacks, just hanging out.
Dude, you weren't as nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous
Dude,
at all.
same. I actually had the same result. I was like, because I'm usually like competing at a national meet or like
Yeah.
at collegiate nationals, or like you're in enemy territory. Everybody wants you to fail.
Yeah.
And I was at Legions, like, oh, those are like all the people I know out in the stand. Like, I have nothing to be nervous
You're
about.
just hanging out with your friends.
I've lifted in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Like it makes it a little bit easier. I feel that because I wasn't as nervous at Legions either.
Yeah, you're just kind of hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
like having a good day.
It's very interesting because I feel like everybody at Legions had like one of their best meets.
It was
lot
a
of
very successful day.
Yeah, despite like all the injuries, a lot of people had great
Yeah.
accolades afterward.
Yeah.
Peyton hit 804. The younger
Insane.
lifters, Massa had that massive total PR.
Yeah.
That was huge.
That was
I
pretty
think
crazy.
did he went 9 for 9.
Yes,
He did, yeah.
Massa had the perfect meet, probably the most perfect meet out of anybody there. Honestly,
Yeah.
He really did. And
He was also just having a great day.
Yeah.
He was just having fun.
everybody, but that's the thing. I think everybody was just having fun.
Yeah.
it was another gym sesh. Honestly, like
Yeah.
we've all lifted it at the same time together at least one point of our lives.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
like, oh hey, let's lift together.
It
Let's
literally was
see
just
how it
hanging out
goes.
with your friends.
Right.
I think that says a lot about like going into a meet, like you're the mental aspect of it
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Dude, it's so different. If you're nervous, or not even nervous, because nervous is normal, but like if you're like scared, like you're not
Yeah.
confident, you lack that confidence, like you're gonna already just drain away so much energy. You're probably gonna shake more. You're probably gonna overthink it more, and you're not thinking about the right things that you have to.
I mean, that's like with national meets, it's hard to not, have like that nervousness, but the person who's going to have the best day at a national meet is the person who's having like the most fun.
Right.
That's totally the case.
That's always it. It's
That's
always
totally the case.
Yeah.
You'll see the guys that are always like leading, like in like the subtotal or something.
Yeah.
You see them in the back, and they're like
They're having such
they're
a good
having
time.
a great
They're
time.
having such a good time.
They're snacking, they're talking.
Yeah.
They're just
Half
yapping.
of them are dancing. Like it's just.
Yeah.
And then you'll see the ones that are like they're just shaky,
Mhm.
and it's like you don't want to be in that
Yeah.
zone. I think the biggest thing is just
Even if you like, for some reason, like you're not going to win this, you can't allow yourself to get there. If you want the best result you could possibly get to win this, or even just be competitive, you can't be in that. You got to avoid that mindset at all costs.
Well, that's like people ask me, they're like I was talking to MJ, and she was like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do nationals." And I was like, "Even if you don't, you could get last place, but like just go out there. It's a national
have
meet.
fun.
It's gonna be fun. You get to compete with everybody across the U.S. That's awesome. Just go have fun."
I don't like when people compare numbers to other things.
I
dude.
don't. This is a
It makes no sense
I
because
don't-
like you can
yeah.
only do what your body can do. Does
Yeah.
that like that must be the bell curve? You can only do what I can do today. I have to win. I can only do what I have to do
Yeah.
today.
That does make sense.
Like part of the game is like not getting sick 2 weeks out. Part of the game is making weight. Part of the game is making all your squat attempts. Like those are all factors of it. And if something goes wrong, a lot of people are hard on themselves, man, about that stuff. It's like, well, it's not my best. It's like, well, it's your best for the day. And that's all that it comes down. You could prep and everything right, and then you tear your ACL slipping on a banana peel, dude. Like
yeah, anything can go.
anything can go.
Anything can happen.
And I
And
think
so to even show up to the meet healthy, great.
To even
day.
show up
Great,
for the meet.
yeah.
Like that's
talking about
there's people that just don't even
It's
show
usually
up.
how- right?
Show up, yeah.
I think the biggest thing is
like Gavin Aiden missed weight by like 5 keys. That's
Yeah.
part of the game.
That's
You know.
it happens.
the biggest thing is wanting to beat yourself
Mm-hmm.
and not beating yourself up when you don't.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be perfect every time. You're not going to half the time you're not going to hit what you hit in the gym. I mean, you can probably get there somewhere close, but you're not going to hit all 3 lifts
Mm-hmm.
every single time of like a PR. It's
Oh, dude. Well, like I feel like a lot of younger lifters, but I see a lot of, lifters our age also hit like I've had this injury, and I don't know why I couldn't hit my best PR deadlift ever in my life. All of a
know
sudden,
why.
it's like, well, you've been injured. You haven't been able to push it hard. You know, like this is also part of the game. You know, like I didn't hit a deadlift on or on my deadlift. I was very happy I hit what I hit though. You know, because I wasn't deadlifting a month ago. So it's just like, yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up because it wasn't my best day ever. That's just something dumb, I would say.
You have to take what you get based on the circumstances that you have.
Yeah, dude. Travel time, everything, weigh-ins going late, that's part of it.
That's a big thing with national meets too.
Yeah.
People forget like the difference between a local and a national meet.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Local meet, you're not really traveling anywhere.
Yeah.
It's all people you know. I mean, that's why Legions just went well for everybody.
Yeah,
it's
it's just
everybody
nice.
knows each other.
We're all 10 minutes down the street.
Yeah.
A national meet, a lot of times you have to travel.
Yeah.
So now you have to take into account that.
Yeah, we're flying to Atlanta.
So travel time, you're in just an unknown area. Usually just there's a lot of nerves with that, and your mind is like already overstimulated by all the new things that you see.
And let's talk about finances now.
Yeah, and then
And then let's talk about traveling and finances.
and then you're worrying about money, and then it's like all this stuff starts factoring in.
I forgot to pack deadlift socks.
You know how many times
Better
that
go to the
happens?
Target.
It happens all. It's when somebody's missing something in equipment check. It's always deadlift socks.
It's always deadlift socks.
Always deadlift socks.
You pack your one pair of socks and you're like, that's good.
That's it. That's all I
it.
need.
But yeah, I think that's like a huge difference is local and national.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people go into a national meet and they beat themselves up even harder because it is a national meet. When I feel like you really can't. Because
I mean, it's even harder to perform well at a national meet. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we had this conversation 2 weeks ago with Peyton. His first time going to Worlds. You said that was like his first time traveling. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like even though the national meet was in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
but
that was the first time like actually traveling. It's like, dude, I don't think, like you said, I don't think he realized the toll it took
Oh, yeah.
on his performance that day. You know, so
Yeah.
it's a big difference, even just going from state to state.
And
but, like,
Scottsdale was only like an hour and a half plane. Like,
and
what was
imagine going
Romania
to
or
a
whatever?
whole, I don't forget where it's at,
Yeah.
a whole 10 hours away or whatever.
Yeah, it was Romania, and so he was on a plane for like 20 hours.
Yeah, like,
So being
that's
on
going to take you out.
yeah, being on a plane for 20 hours, completely changing time zones,
Mhm.
and then trying to adjust within like 2 days before you lift is huge.
Yeah.
Like,
Big.
And then there's a lot of stress that goes into that.
Yeah.
I mean, just trying to get through TSA with your belt.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
TSA always looks at you like you're insane trying to take a belt through that.
Yeah, they think it's a bomb every single time.
Every time.
So what's that going to do? Help me. Help
Keep
me.
my back safe.
Help me not blow up.
Dave Tate said this, and I think it's like a big thing. The person who wins the meet is usually not the strongest one. It's the one who comes in feeling the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I think a lot of lifters who are strong struggle with. Because they come in and they think that, oh, I'm really strong. That means I should do better than everybody else.
Mhm.
That's not necessarily the case. And so they get lackadaisical with everything else because they're strong.
Mhm.
Then they're forgetting all the factors that lead up to it, the peak, the prep, all that stuff. When a lot of times, like for example, you can be the strongest guy, but if you're not going to hit your squat opener, you're screwed.
Yeah,
Why does it matter?
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all.
That's why, like, when people like scout QTs and stuff, I think it's kind of stupid, personally. Like in college, we never looked at who we were competing against because some guy from Texas A&M can come out of nowhere and just wipe the floor,
Yeah.
and you just don't know who this. He's at the bottom of the QTs. You know, you just don't know who these people are. So like, you'll see who you're competing against once the openers are in, but like, worrying about that anytime before that, it's just like, why? Why would you give yourself that added stress? Just focus on yourself now. And then let your coach focus on the numbers. You should have no stress.
I mean, that's what I do with you.
Yeah.
You don't think about numbers at all.
No, I just trust you. I know you're going to watch what I did and you're going to put in the right number, and that's how it always is.
And then I'm going to stress about it the entire time.
And it'll be fine.
You see Brandon walking, pacing around. You should be scared of playing that.
I think at Legions, I did 18,000 steps
That's
Yeah.
insane stuff.
on the first day.
Yeah. I mean, you were handling, what, 3 of us? 4 of us?
That first day,
Yeah.
I had all the vets. I had
All
you.
the vets.
Oh, you had all the vets, too.
I think I had like I can't remember, and then I had 2 strongman people. It was
Yeah.
like 16 to 18.
Were you able to
Yeah,
make
that's
it over
insane.
there to help them?
Um,
Strongman?
in pieces? Yes.
In pieces.
I texted them. I was like, just do this.
You did your best, right?
Yeah.
Good.
But they listened. They did well.
That's good.
And that's most of the time all I ask is just
Yeah.
please listen. But luckily with you, you've done so many meets that I don't really have to worry about you too much.
No, I mean I know how to
Like-
warm up. I know, you know,
the warming
what I
up
need.
and all that stuff. You know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So it's like you're like one of the least stressful to do.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
But I care a lot about like making sure you hit something cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so that's the most stressful part is just like picking the numbers.
And I feel like I've never, you know, had, even if I, you know, like I failed my third bench at Legions, I wasn't like, oh, I wish it was lower. Like I was just like, oh, dang. I wish I had been able to hit that, but that's fun.
Have you ever been upset after like missing a lift?
Ever?
Like in like a meet?
I think I was at Legions last year when my calf cramped up. Because I
that's
was
fair.
upset that like, I was like, man, I should have been able to do that.
Didn't your back cramp up this time?
At this Legions?
Yeah.
No, this Legions was, I didn't have anything. It was University Nationals where my back was like
Okay, yeah.
just destroyed. It was in knots every time. It was awful.
But you haven't gotten mad like
No,
in
yeah,
anything?
I never like get off the platform and I'm like pissed off. I'm just like kind of like disappointed. Like
I think
Oh,
that's
well.
important too.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
no,
getting
for
mad's
sure.
not going to change anything. If you walk off the platform and you're pissed that you didn't hit it, like
Now you're too focused on being mad.
yeah, just get stronger and then you'll hit it. Like
Or
Just
just
wait. Just get it next time.
yeah, just get it next time.
take it again.
Yeah.
Take it again.
It's totally doable.
Yeah.
And like I mean, if you miss your opener, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we have a problem.
Well, I think having the mindset of you can only do what you can do that day helps a lot with that. Because like,
Definitely.
if you have such a high expectation, you think you're there, and your body's just obviously not catching up to that expectation, you're gonna get upset, a lot more upset. Because like, let's say you miss a 315 bench press, and it was literally just like that last little bit. You're like, well, just wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
That's all that means. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. Spotters didn't do anything wrong. That's all that happened.
just happened.
That's all on me. So having that mindset also just bleeds over into the rest of your mindset for that meet, honestly.
Well, that's the other thing that like, you know, I've heard people talk about like, oh, I want to hit, you know, this number for my third squat. Don't think about it like that. Like just
Yes.
go in, take your opener, and then just like once you
Yeah.
hit the opener, just you're good.
Exactly.
You're in the meet. You're fine.
Expectation versus reality.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Too many people go in being like, this is what I want for my third. Sure, you can do that, but the day of, you really shouldn't think of it like that. Because I've seen people, they haven't even done their first attempt and they're already thinking about their third.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
They're comparing their competitors' openers and trying to guess what they're doing
Yeah.
with what they want to do. And then they're upset like, how come I lost to these guys?
Yeah.
How come they took smarter jumps and I didn't and they won? I don't get this.
Yeah, it's all about, there's a lot of strategy involved. Or it's just like, the other thing I see a lot is opening way too high and then you're burnt out.
Yeah.
With you, I don't even know. I just make your opener super easy
Yeah.
every single time.
I mean, that's what helps with me too. Is I feel like on squat and deadlift at least, I can handle like 15, 20 kilo jumps and
Yeah.
not blow out and be fine. So like you can open a lot lighter and then just get on the
You already
board.
have the mindset of a super heavyweight, man. Just embrace it.
just
man.
get up there.
Let's see. Yeah, just keep
Get to
eating.
308. Dude.
Just keep
hammer
eating.
it.
Okay, how do you work at a bakery?
Yeah, I work at a bakery.
Like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah,
eat them up.
dude. See, if I didn't work at the bakery, I don't even know if I'd be over 70 kilos right now.
Dang, dude, that's wild. You need to get a job at like a barbecue restaurant. Just
Yeah, I'll
eat
go
all,
hit
eat all
up
the bread
BJ's or
rolls.
something,
Yeah.
yeah.
Eat all the bread rolls and spare brisket. You
Yeah,
can get
there
your
we
hands
go.
on.
That
Do
might be
you,
it.
do you really try to eat as much as possible?
I mean, today I think I've eaten already. What time is it? It's noon. I think I've probably eaten like 3,000 calories today already.
What are those calories?
I had canes.
Okay.
Issue number one. That's not real.
I'm kind of just hammering anything, like
Okay.
whatever I can get down. It's gonna go.
So canes.
Yeah. This is the worst bulking hack. Nobody should ever listen to this. I've been drinking heavy cream a lot.
That's disgusting.
No,
It's
a
terrible.
lot of people go with kefir. You know,
I don't know.
What is that?
It's like thin yogurt. I think it's like fermented milk, and apparently it tastes really good.
I can
But
work
it's a
with
little bit thicker than milk, but it's not as thick as yogurt. And you can just down that thing, and it's got so many calories. It's
Yeah.
got so much protein in it too.
Yeah.
So I don't know really the science behind it, but that's what it's called, kefir.
One thing of heavy cream
But
that's
heavy
like this
cream?
big is the like things of heavy cream that are this big are 1,600 calories each. You drink that whole thing.
How much protein is in there?
I don't know. Probably not as much as you would hope.
Zero.
It has that less than 1 in there.
Yeah, it's just where they have to put like the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Um,
They put like 1 gram of
Well, if this
protein in
thing
it.
didn't have protein, it wouldn't exist. So it obviously has some protein
Something
in it.
how long have you been drinking heavy cream?
Like a week.
Is there any problems, like any health problems with that?
I mean,
You can
Not
get so much.
any,
You
like,
can get so much
major
more
ones.
out of like Greek yogurt, though.
Yes, you could.
yeah, probably.
You could probably get so much more off of just a simple mass gainer.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. That'll come later.
Mix it with the heavy cream.
There we go. That
Oh,
comes in
did
the
you?
evening.
Is that what you did?
That comes in the evening.
That's a little bit better. At least it's just not dogging some heavy cream.
No, I am
bites.
doing that.
God dang it!
Do you try to spread out your meals?
Yeah. I mean, with like work and everything, it kind of forces me to spread them out, you know?
Yeah.
Because I can't eat like while I'm working, so I have to like eat before, in the middle and then afterwards, sort of thing. I can't eat on the clock, sort of thing.
You eat snacks?
Yeah, I mean, we'll shrink stuff out at the bakery and I'll eat that.
No, like when you're not working, when you're at home, sitting on the couch, doing nothing, losing calories, just sitting there watching TV.
Sometimes.
What do you eat?
Depends. I like pretzels, eating pretzels a lot.
You do
Pretzels
eat a
are
lot of
fire.
pretzels.
I do eat a lot of pretzels. I ate that whole bag at Legion's.
That's actually a big powerlifting thing, and I don't know why.
I'm not a big fan of pretzels.
It's
personally.
literally just salt and carbs. I think
Is
that's
that-
what
is
it
that
is.
all it is?
I think that's what it is. I eat them just because there's the salt on them, and I'm like terrified of getting cramps now.
Do you? So, do you think you just have a really high metabolism, or do you think honestly that you just maybe don't eat enough?
I mean, I probably like could stand to still eat more. I'm not saying that I eat, enough, like as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
But I have always had like a very high metabolism. I ran cross country in high school, and I was 120 pounds in high school at like the same height. So,
Jesus.
yeah, it was terrifying to look at me.
What's your parents' background, size-wise?
Both of them are pretty short. My
Okay.
dad's like 5'6" and my mom's like 5'7".
Weight about the same
Um,
as you, a little bit smaller.
Yeah, my dad's like 150.
Okay.
So I mean, I think it's cool that you've gained a lot of weight.
I also
I
think
think it's
so.
very, very good thing.
I like looking like I'm, have something other than just bone in there.
Yeah, it's a very healthy thing.
Yeah, it's pretty
too.
good.
Do you think being stressed? I know you were a student for a long time. You think any of that played a factor in?
I do, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of like days when I'd have, all this like all these classes or whatever, and then like you got to go home and do all this work where it's like I'm thinking about that rather than thinking about eating. Or like, my freshman year of college, I lived in Circus, that was my dorm. So like
Wait, what?
yeah, so the dorm that I was going to live in blew up, Argenta Hall.
I remember something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details.
So the like boiler room exploded, so we couldn't live there. So I was off campus basically. So I like didn't have access to well, I did have access, but I didn't have, immediate access to like food like I would if I lived on campus. So I'd go like a whole day, wouldn't eat anything like my freshman year because I'm like I can't get there to like eat. So
And so you think any of that just played a factor like down the line of like being able to eat?
probably.
Dude, honestly, eating in college is hard. Even when you have a mess hall, it's only
Yeah.
got certain hours.
Yeah, that's the other
It's
thing.
not serving food 24/7. If anything, it's like salads and rabbit food they're serving 24/7. But
Yeah.
like, you can't just go in there and get a full meal anytime you want. At
Yeah.
least at Midland, it wasn't like that. Like,
No, it's not like that.
we're
here
only
either.
serving dinner from 4 to 7,
That is what.
and then everybody's in there from 4 to 7. Your whole school.
Yeah, and it's packed in there.
Yeah,
exactly.
and you're like, I don't want to wait for this. I'm gonna get one plate, and then they don't give you enough servings. You're like, I don't want to get back in line for this.
because it'll take you another like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then they're closed by then.
Yeah.
And then lunch and breakfast is like always early. So a lot of college kids, they didn't wake up early enough.
Yeah, I was waking up at like 11.
Yeah.
So how are you balancing food, school? You worked at the same time, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
How'd you balance all that?
Figured it out.
It literally was just like any time that I wasn't like eating and doing schoolwork, I was working. Or if I wasn't, doing schoolwork and working, I was eating. It was like whatever I wasn't doing at that exact moment, fill it with one of the other things. So it's just kind of whatever I have time to do, that's what's getting done.
That had to affect your sleep.
Absolutely.
I think you just texted me about that. Your sleep.
Yeah. I sleep probably like maximum like 5 hours a night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you need to up that. I
Yeah.
think sleep
That's
is
rookie numbers.
sleep.
I gotta get that down.
Was it sleep, water, food?
Yeah.
Probably in that order.
I drink a lot of water. I will say that.
I haven't seen you take a single sip.
Open your eyes, buddy.
I can't. I have glasses.
But I think yeah, upping the sleep will probably help with the metabolism too.
Yeah.
Do less. Just sit on your couch all day.
That's what I did all day yesterday, dude.
It's not working then.
Just watch the rain. Here you go, Garrett.
I want to say
That was a
too.
big slurp. I didn't hear anything.
I didn't
come
hear
out.
anything either. I want to say too. Is there like, I don't know the details behind it. Have you ever looked into like nutritionists or stuff like that?
Not really. I know we have,
Shanti.
yeah, Shanti here. I haven't like talked to him or anything, but I probably should.
I think that'd be like a good
It might help, yeah.
thing to look into, especially if you want to just max out the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll come into Atlanta at like 85. Have to cut still.
I think like a big thing just in general for powerlifting is too many people focus on cutting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is-
extreme cuts too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no reason for it unless you're gonna set a national record.
Yeah. Well, there's Shell Bachland, if you know him from Norway.
He's
He's-
thinking about doing 66.
He's
right?
not thinking about it. He's
there.
there. He's coming down. He said he was. Saw on his Instagram. His off-season weight is like 80 kilos. He's coming down for Sheffield to 66. Right now he's like 70
So this was Austin's competitor last Worlds for 74.
74s, yeah.
And as a 74, he obviously can't be Perkins at Sheffield. But everybody's saying, well, if he maintains his strength and cuts down to 66, he's going to win Sheffield.
He is honestly maintaining his strength too. He did like 860.
That's the scariest part, is that he is actually maintaining a high level 74 strength
if not getting stronger.
and still cutting to 66
Yeah.
What's the details behind that though?
to win Sheffield.
Yeah.
No, I mean
wants
like
to-
what's the details to like him retaining the strength? Because that's not really sustainable.
It's not.
No, I think he's gonna go back up to 74 immediately.
My
after,
theory is, do you know what he's sitting at now?
but I think I saw his Instagram post last week. It was like 70 flat.
See, this makes sense. He's got those last 5 kilos. It's gonna rip him.
Yeah. He's probably just gonna
It's
water
gonna-
cut it like the last
It's gonna
week.
hurt. He's probably down to close to skin and bones now. If he's walking around 80 off season,
Yeah. That's
How
what he
tall
said.
is he?
Oh, he's tiny, dude. He
Oh,
is. He
okay.
is very short.
he can. His height has nothing to do with it. Obviously, he's really short, but like, it's gonna be to that point where like that last one key before he makes weight, it's just gonna rip him.
Yeah.
I just
See,
feel
that's
it.
actually very interesting because a lot of people when they first start losing weight, like they start cutting for something, they're retaining their strength.
Well, they're probably a little bit healthier. Body composition is just a little bit better,
Yeah, and so like maybe that little bit like leverages change slightly. They might be just getting into better positions.
Yeah.
And then they start losing more and more and more.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
when it starts taking muscle, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it starts taking a toll on just your general body because I mean, if you're not getting enough calories, you're
Your body's not getting enough anything.
yeah, and
Like
so
it's not. It's like, dude, why do you want us to squat 6 again today? I don't think we got that.
and so yeah, especially like if you're not changing up your program to like accommodate for that.
I'm sure he is.
I'm sure he is.
Personally,
Yeah.
he's a pretty smart athlete, I would say, from what I've heard. But that's just such an insane cut, and to maintain. So the thing is, he doesn't have to maintain all his strength. If he loses 50 keys off his total from 74,
He's still winning.
he still wins.
Absolutely.
And it just demolishes the 66 records.
Yeah. I mean, none of them.
So
none
it's
of them
not,
are there.
It's not just maintaining his 74 kilogram strength. It's demolishing 66, but he also still needs to maintain. He can't lose more than 150 pounds on his total.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 66s are doing like mid to high 700s. He's doing like mid to low 800s.
Okay, didn't account for that. That makes more sense.
I forgot about that detail. My bad.
Yeah, 'cause there is like there is a stark difference between like the weight classes and strength
Yes.
level.
Yeah.
The strength curve is completely different.
Yeah.
And so like it makes sense where if you lose strength but you're still at the top of the end of the curve,
Which he should be.
You're going to get Sheffield all day. Yeah, that's what wins Sheffield is the records.
Yeah.
It's
So,
it's percent of the world record, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
what percent of the world record?
So like
You
to
gotta-
win a Sheffield,
to beat the world record, you got to get whatever you get over it, whatever percent over
Yeah.
that record, they add that up, and
yeah,
oh,
it's like the world record total, and then you get
it's
bonus
not,
money
it's not
based
dots
on
or points or nothing.
No, it's the total.
That's why a lot of these world meets aren't going
That's
fall
true.
to the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
because
everyone's
everyone's saving
They
it.
save it for Sheffield.
Yeah.
And it's
So when somebody
Which is
like
unfortunate.
Ashton Rutsa comes around and just completely wrecks the plan,
Yeah, everyone gets mad.
everybody gets mad. When somebody like Perkins comes around and completely wrecks the plan,
I kind of like that though.
No, I like that too. I don't like
Because-
sandbagging at Worlds. It's stupid.
Yeah, why would you like? I get why they're doing it because there's money involved,
Yeah.
but like,
But it's stupid to like sandbag,
yeah,
for
the world
the world championship.
Can you set world records at Sheffield?
Yeah,
Yes.
Like it's actually like
they count.
sanctioned.
IPF world record.
Okay,
It's
so-
it's an IPF meet.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but to still like sandbag at worlds is wild.
It's
to me.
because they want to win the
think,
money.
It makes you think, what's the point of worlds if we have Sheffield? Then,
Exactly.
You know,
yeah, if all the money's going into Sheffield, then
should that just be worlds? You know,
You would think, right? At this point, it kind of is.
but we still have worlds. You know?
I mean, since they take the top people from every weight class.
Worlds is a qualifier for Sheffield.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is.
You would still need worlds, but to call it the world championship now, it's
It's kind of lame.
obviously not because everybody's saving their best lifts for the next meet.
That's actually just really unfortunate.
Mhm.
Especially when you have people that like maybe they're gonna place like 7th, 8th, like lower down. They're putting their entire heart into the world championship to try and win it, and the guy who wins just like sandbags.
Yeah,
That sucks
gets 30 kgs below his best total
Yeah.
just because he's waiting for Sheffield.
because he wants to win money. It kind of sucks.
But
Yeah,
I do
mean,
like what America did with Rayleigh.
Oh, SPD Raleigh.
Raleigh.
Yeah, in,
Raleigh.
North
And it was
Carolina.
the American Sheffield.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I did
I
like
think
that.
if every country had their individual Sheffield, I thought that was sick. Because then you have like somebody like Bornstein
Yeah.
who just showed up,
Demolished.
and
as
it's like
well.
this guy would have won Worlds, and he's going to win Sheffield now.
Yeah, he would have beat Russ. I think
He had a higher total than Russ.
he did. Yeah, so he would have won the Open 83s as a junior.
Israeli that did it the same way, where it's based off of like a percentage.
It's a national record.
It was based off the national
It's
records.
based off national
I
records.
think so.
Oh, no wonder he demolished.
That's interesting. Because now like I know PA is trying to push signature sanction. That's what
Yes.
Legion.
Yeah.
We
That's
had
what
the
Legion's was, yeah.
But that's
signature
more of
sanction.
a local level. If it's anything like Legions, it's probably just going to be more local level then.
Which
I
I'm
think
still cool
I
with
think
that.
they want to
But
start pushing it farther.
Sanction
do.
might be an eligible meet for the next
Well,
Rayleigh, though.
well-
sanction. There's a jury. There's also
That's what I'm saying.
It was run like a national meet, right?
yeah, and you can set national records.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying. I
right,
think
yeah.
it's the next qualification for something like Rayleigh. Like you didn't go to nationals, but Peyton Johnson has this total. He kind of should go to Rayleigh, even
he
if he
can win
doesn't
the
compete
money.
at nationals.
Yes.
He can
Something
win
like
the money.
that.
That
So-
works a little better, I think.
I think that's great. That it like opens up a lot more opportunities for
A lot of
lifters.
avenues. for
I
sure.
will say, I think they're doing a signature sanction for nationals this coming year.
Well, the
as
prime
well.
time. The prime time's
Well,
probably
it's,
going to be
it's
the
always
signature sanction.
prime, but then how does that work?
What do you mean?
Because signature sanction isn't based off of weight classes; it's based off of your dots
Yeah.
So
or GL points or whichever.
So what
I
they're
think you might
probably
just-
going to do, just two theories, two avenues I could think of is each primetime session is going to be individual because if you think about, there's 3 days of nationals, basically a lightweight,
Yeah.
middleweight, heavyweight day,
Yeah.
and they might separate those three into individual signature sanctions.
Lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight.
or
Yeah.
yeah.
So they do
Or-
like
how would you divide that though?
I mean, from like men, it's like 59 to 74.
I guess how they already kind of divide
That's-
it.
yeah,
how
that's
they-
how
how
it
it's
quote
is, yeah.
unquote divide it.
How
like,
it's already
yeah.
gone separated into days. How we
Yeah.
already go from lightest to heaviest. You
Yeah.
just keep those same days, those same splits.
Yeah.
And then
That's how they did the primetime
Or
this
they'll
past year.
or they'll just make
Yeah.
all the best lifters, like the best lifter awards. They just that's the signature sanction.
That could be.
Everybody in prime time.
Yeah.
Because I wonder if there's like I've always wondered if there's a conflict with signature sanction. I haven't gotten talked to Tamara about this yet because she's been gone, but it makes me wonder if like there's an age restriction with signature sanction, like if you have to be 18 or older. Because like there's, I'm not
Well, they did it at junior nationals. They had
did
the
they?
primetime at junior
well
nationals.
prime time, but I'm talking about money now. Money's
That's true.
involved.
That's true.
I don't know what the guidelines are, parameters are for
There's
signature
probably
sanction.
some sort of legality with that.
Yeah.
too.
I don't know. Maybe you just give it to their parents. They win the money, you just give it to your mom.
It's a free donation to PA. They just keep the money.
They just keep it. It
But,
pays your registration for the next
They
year.
actually take your money out of your account.
So like, because primetime before was just like they just take the best lift.
Totals.
It was the it was
Yeah.
the more like people that you want to tune in and watch.
It was
Yeah.
totals. Yes.
But then I always liked when you would see like the non-prime time and you would see someone that was like, oh, they should have obviously
Yeah.
been at prime time.
Yeah.
And that's just something you can't avoid.
Yeah.
Because like Chloe Dublin, for example, she only had equip meets leading into PA nationals. And they really wanted to put her in prime time, but she never hit a raw total.
So they couldn't.
So they put her in so she ended up getting second, I think, overall, but she was in the primetime section. You can't avoid that situation. There's those things. There's always somebody coming out the woodwork, so you just can't beat.
Yeah.
And there's always somebody that just the cars don't line up,
That happened at Worlds too. There was the guy who won the deadlift gold medal was from Guyana. He was in, I think he was in the 93s. He was in the B flight, but he won deadlifts overall because they just put him in the B flight instead of the A flight.
Didn't he pull something ridiculous?
Yeah, I think he pulled like really close to or maybe over the world record. I don't remember.
Like the highest deadlift in IPF history, something like that.
It was crazy.
But
he was in the B flight.
Yeah. I think I saw something like that on like King of the Lifts or something.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But there's like...
He has like that crazy deadlift setup where he like does all that like anime opening. That's what it looks like.
I like that.
I got opinions on that.
It was like Rondell Hunt. It was pre-COVID. Rondell Hunt won Junior Worlds, but he set the open. He could have set the open world record total as a junior, but
he's crazy.
But for some reason that didn't allow him to do that.
I think they've changed that now.
They've probably changed that now because of that.
So wait, say that again.
He was a junior lifter at Junior Worlds.
Yes.
He beat the open world record at 105 kg.
He was strong enough to beat the open, but he was in the juniors.
Yeah, they never rewarded him the open world record holder for the open.
Okay, because that same thing can happen with masters. Hypothetically speaking, a
masters could win the open or open.
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking, too, a masters 4 could take masters 3, 2, 1 open.
Right.
They could take all those world records.
Mm-hmm. Just not the juniors.
Just not the juniors.
Yeah.
I hope not.
But I mean, can a sub junior take a junior record?
I don't think so.
No, yeah. Elliot Skies, the 74, he has the sub junior and the junior records.
Does he? Okay.
He does, yeah.
But then can a sub junior take the open? I know this is like a redundancy, but this is like
No,
interesting.
because this might be like I said, this might be a different thing now. But like just back then, like pre-2020, Rondell was not rewarded the open world record, even though he could have had it. But nowadays, I think they could now because like finally somebody broke that barrier, and they're like, well, we can't allow this happen to multiple people now.
Yeah, because Joe Bornstein I think he has the open
world record.
Well, he said it at Raleigh, so he has the open national record,
but it could be a world record.
But it could be the world record.
But that's the difference between national and worlds. Like a lot of our Americans set open world records, but it wasn't an IPF.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not a national meet. That's why I'm jealous of the Euros because they can set world records at Euros.
I don't think so.
It's an international meet technically.
EPF.
Yeah.
I thought it would be only.
I think that's still just a national record.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
but like it's in.
I thought
Europe.
No, it'd be a regional.
Europe's not the world.
That's true.
It would be like a regional record.
Yeah,
it's a national record for Europe. That's what it is. The European national record, EPF.
Well, no, it would be a regional.
Yeah, Europe's not a nation.
What region?
Europe.
When you say regional, I'm thinking about like NAPF. Sorry, I'm thinking.
Well, NAPF exactly.
Yeah, that's
a regional of the world. Yeah, but I'm thinking like just national.
And you can set world records.
I'm thinking just national level.
But yeah, that would be. But they're separate countries.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it'd be a regional.
Can you set world records at NAPF?
It's only a national. How does that work?
What are you talking about? EPF, European.
Yes.
Hey, you're right.
Like, what are you talking?
I got my mind. I got my things mixed up.
I was like, you gaslighting.
Well, no, because like you were talking, I was like, wait, it's not wrong. Wait a minute. Hold up. But you're right. It's like NAP exactly. It's like a regional thing. And what did you ask?
Can't you set world records at NAPF?
It's IPF meet.
Yeah. So wouldn't you be able to set world records at EPF?
Yeah.
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 Now it makes sense.
Okay, there we go.
Because I was getting confused with like the regional thing. So
yeah,
that's on me. Cut that out.
Powerlifting's confusing.
There's like a lot.
When there's 10 federations in a nation, yeah, dude, it all gets jumbled in there.
There's too much. Yeah, sometimes there's just too much going on.
It's too many things, dude. There's too many federations. There's too many people.
Too many rules.
Too many rules. Everybody, there should be no rules. You just go out there and just pick up the bar. That's what happens.
That reminds me of your bench.
No rules?
No rules.
No. When you had a high arch, did your elbows go past shoulder? Because that was before the rule.
Yeah. So it probably would pass.
Okay.
That's what I say. It would, because it was like pretty much right on the line. I think if I had like a mean head judge, he might give me a red, but the sides would probably still give me whites.
Was it? It was nationals in Arizona where
Yeah.
you had a judge that red lighted you for cursing.
Yeah, that did happen. It would have been, I think, a PR squat, like all-time PR squat. So I got really excited at the top, and I racked it. And he got out of his chair, came up, got in my face, and was like, "If you do that one more time, I'm gonna throw you out." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, they're big on the
So
no cursing rule.
Yeah,
in all
don't
those
do that
meets.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that sometimes like it's not like I'm not trying to excuse it, but sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment,
It happens.
It always happens when I'm handling more than I'm lifting. Because, like, I'll have somebody hit a big PR. I'm like, fuck yeah. and
Then you get yelled
then the TC's like, stop. I'm like, sorry,
Don't do
that's on me.
that's what happened with at Legions actually when they called Heaven's Bench.
Yeah.
I
You
I
said
don't
something.
remember what I said.
I remember seeing you go,
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
I raised my hands and I looked at Scott and I was like, what the and
did he say something?
he was like, he just pointed. It was like elbow.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought
Yeah.
he was telling you.
No. And then I went up later and apologized.
Hmm.
But he was. I like what he said though. When I apologized, he's like, I'd rather you be passionate than passive.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Which I mean, that's a big thing. There's a lot of coaches out there that
Oh,
They-
there's so many coaches like, oh, why'd you get
I got
red-lighted?
opinions on
I don't
that.
know.
like they won't care
Yeah.
like at all.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about somebody that's like that. Where like it's with online coaches that like you never talk to in person. You know, you just send them like your videos and they're like, okay, and they don't give you any feedback. They don't like change anything.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's literally just like thumbs up emoji,
Thumbs up
and then you
emoji.
just move on.
That's not the emoji. They just do the reaction.
So
Yeah.
now you're getting
That was
into
left
like
buttons.
the details of it all versus coaching versus just program.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a program, just say you're selling programs. Don't say you're selling coaching.
Yeah, don't say you're a coach.
That's just a personal pet peeve. I mean, because I try to cater everything specifically towards you,
Which you do, I think.
which is why I send you like a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
Oh yeah, there's people that just send you like a whole month-long block, right?
And they don't adjust it for the month.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like
just the same.
you will follow this plan no matter what happens. No matter how good or bad you're feeling, this is what you're gonna do.
I don't care if you have a hip injury. You're gonna.
But you know how they evaded that? RPE.
Yeah.
Well, dude, did you not feel like a 7 that day? That's on you. Now it's your fault.
Dude, that looked like a 20. What are you doing?
See, like an RPE, it works, but it's definitely a little bit of a cop out.
Yeah.
I've been using it for certain people that don't, they just don't adapt to percentages very well. So I can use RPE instead.
I think if you use RPE and are also active with your athlete, it works very well.
It's
but
better.
expecting your athlete to do all the work for you,
Yeah.
so you don't have to type in some numbers.
I mean, that's the other thing too. I feel like I'm a terrible judge of RPE. Like I'll pull something and feel like it's a 9, and then somebody else will look at it and be like, "No, it's like a 6."
Yeah,
However, that's based on your judgment.
That's true.
that is your perceived
Yeah.
rate of
It is my
perceived
perceived
exertion.
Another
exertion, yeah.
person can't really tell you what the RPE is.
True.
It's based on what you perceive.
Yeah.
What was that conversation we had the other day? It was like, yeah, just push everything to an RPE 8. Okay, so do I like go up 10 pounds every week? It's like, that's not what that means.
That's
Yep.
not what that means.
No, it's 8 pounds every week.
I don't know. Does it feel like you can go up 10 pounds and still retain that same amount of effort? Tell me.
I think actually mixing RPE with percentage is a great way to do it.
We do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the percentage chart with the RPE. You know, have you ever seen that one?
Mm-mm.
Where it kind of plugs in some RPEs with percentages, like a really hard RP or RPE 10 set of 5 is usually like around 87.5%. You know, like that's like a top set of 5. Like you probably can't go over that.
That makes sense.
And then if you're like, as a good coach, before like RP was like a big thing, you're like, this guy's gotten stronger. We need to adjust training going forward because he just did his top set of 5 with ease.
Mhm.
Versus this guy's around the same because his set of 5 looked really hard.
Right.
So a good coach would go forward next week and adjust numbers with that, with their new training max, kind of estimated training max. Where like an RPE, you're like, well, this is what it's supposed to look. Well, the beautiful thing about RPE is like, well, an RPE 10 set of 5 is supposed to be around this weight. I don't want him to burn out, so I want him to hit 3, see if he had 2 more left or if he had like 3 more left. You know, you gauge that as a coach because you know your athlete, and now you know what you should be able to do in the next week moving forward. And so
That makes sense.
yeah, so that's good. That's a good reason to use RPE if you're regulating. Now, if you just give this guy a chart and say, "Good luck, soldier,"
No,
and they
yeah.
undershoot everything, you're like, I don't know what you're doing wrong.
See it, but
Yeah.
that's also where the communication comes into play.
Yeah.
You're really good about communicating. You're really good about sending me every single thing that you do. And so it makes it a lot easier. And then you have the people that never send anything or
Yeah.
lie about how they feel, and it's like you just got to be honest.
Yeah.
It will make you better if it felt like shit. It felt like shit. That's just how it is.
That's fine.
It's like, you think I'm gonna get mad that you're not feeling it today?
That
I'm
you're
gonna get
tired?
mad. I'm gonna get mad that you lied to me and you failed a set.
I mean, there are like coaches that do get mad at like their athletes when they're not feeling good. And it's like that is not what's
Bad
Not
coach.
healthy. It's not healthy coaching.
that is not what you're supposed to do.
Toxic relationship.
It's a toxic. I mean, as a coach, you have to value the athlete as a person more than you do as a power lifter. You know, like
I mean, also they're paying you money. Why are you getting mad at them?
why would you get mad?
Like that's crazy.
Like
Yeah.
I don't understand. I can't get mad at somebody handing me money.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, like you get mad at them, they're gonna stop giving you money.
I mean, I'm gonna get a little upset if they don't listen.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, if say like I give them like a certain percentage and they don't hit it, and it's like I'm not gonna be mad.
yeah.
Partially, I'm gonna feel like it's my fault
Right.
because that was on me. That was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have gave that to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? Like, let me find out the reason why.
Yeah. Then you go back to like, what did the last couple of weeks look like? What did your life go like today? You
Yeah.
know? Oh, your girlfriend broke up with you? I didn't know that. My bad.
There we go.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Like just, and you're really good about it. You tell me exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
I think you literally texted me last night. I slept like dog shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Word for word. That's actually exactly what I said.
That's great.
and so that makes it easier to like kind of plan everything out. And that's why I also like weekly.
Yeah.
Because then it allows for adjustments.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's been weeks where I'm like, hey, I feel like terrible, and then we'll drop everything, like 5-10%, whatever, because I just, like whatever, I'm sick that week
And
or
then
something.
he starts lifting. He's like, actually, I'm good.
Actually, you know what? Never mind.
Hey, can you go back and
Fix that.
alt control Z?
most of the time, it's better just to take the deload, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do I give you a deload?
I mean, since we compete like every 6 months, I'd say, I don't know, every 3 months.
Probably.
Sounds about
Probably.
right.
I know a lot of coaches are very stuck on the idea of
The 4-week deload.
the 4-week deload. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of coaches think they can predict how the body's going to feel, because they have like for example, a lot of modern day like powerlifting coaches, they'll have like a fatigue percent. You're going to feel this much fatigued after this week. 0.5%.
That's crazy.
You're going to feel this 0.5% fatigue after this week. And then the week after that's going to be another 0.5. So now you're 1% fatigued. The week after that, you're 1.5% fatigued. We're going to deload you back down to hopefully 0.5% fatigue and keep accumulating fatigue that way until eventually you just can't recover.
That sounds
But that's
entirely too complicated.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
entirely too complicated because you're also thinking you can predict
Yeah.
how this person's going to feel on any given day and week.
there's
Plus,
so many
all
things.
your life and everything.
I don't
too.
even know how I feel every week.
Yeah.
You know, like, how am I going to tell this guy?
I feel different every hour of every day.
Yeah, every time I go in to lift, I'm like, I have an idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have an idea.
I'm usually making
That could change immediately, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why they deload, because they're like, well, I know you're going to feel bad by then. It's like, well,
What if I feel bad now?
so a good coach that follows that principle will also be like, well, if you don't feel bad week 4, let's just keep going.
Week 5.
And then we'll start the new block week 1.
Yeah.
Easy fix.
I
And
think that's like the best.
a lot
way
of
to do
coaches
it.
will go with that. They'll have a deload ready, but if like momentum's going, you always stick with momentum.
Yeah, keep going.
So
Don't cut them off,
if it's
halfway through.
if it's working, why would you stop all of a sudden? Yeah. So
Because that I mean, especially like newer lifters, that throws them off.
Oh, yeah.
and a lot of them end up just putting the deload mandatory week 8, the next block. So
I mean, yeah, it's an easy way to
that's
do
a
it.
better way to do it. So
Because like once they start building momentum, they start understanding the movements better. They start understanding like how they're supposed to feel, like maybe after a workout session and stuff like that. And then you just throw in a deload, and that week, a lot of people just have trouble taking that week to like not really do much.
Relax, yeah.
They'll like forget how to do stuff, or like if they already have a ton of energy, and you're just kind of wasting the
wasting
energy.
that energy. It's like wasting a peak.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
wasting a peak.
Also, like a deload for a lot of people is a mental trigger to like, I'm not going to eat as much this week then. I'm also not going to take that many steps. And now I'm sluggish. I'm slow leading into week 1 of the next block. And it's like, well, I just took a deload last week, like you said, Coach. It's
I
like,
should feel better.
your whole life took a deload. You know, like,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's your whole life took a deload.
Calling in from work, dude. I can't come in.
I
I'm
can't. Come in.
deloading.
Coach said I can't.
I'm deloading. Sorry.
I think deloads, and then there's the forced deload,
Just like automatically, week 4, you're going out.
or you just get sick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like the best deload, though. Like when I get
Sit at home,
sick,
don't do
when I
anything.
get sick and I got to take a week off, I'm like, that was the deload.
Yeah,
I can't.
I'm good now.
I can't predict that, but here we are. We're good now.
I feel like Kai, you never get sick.
I do.
I'm sick right now.
I feel like shit right now. No. I do. It's never really for that long. I'll be like terribly sick for like 2 days, and then I'm like, I'm good. Back to it.
How do you think that affects training?
Usually since it's not like I'm not sick for like weeks on weeks, you know, like super long time, I can kind of, you know, instead of deadlifting, you know, on Monday when I feel terrible, let's, you know, wait, and then I'll do it on Wednesday, and I'll still get it done kind of thing. I'll still, you know, hit what I need to hit. I can kind of, you know, move stuff around, and I don't think it affects it in the like flow of everything because it's not going to be the same time, but at least I still get it done.
Do you think that flow affects you a lot?
I think it does. I also try to like not do the same thing at the same time every single week. Because that's one thing that I think can affect people is if you do the same thing every time of the day, every week, when you have to change it, then it affects you way more than it would.
That's a big thing in
Dude.
meets.
I love that.
Well, that's like also too, you know, like you guys for Legions, you weighed in at what, like 1, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not used
like
to
in
that,
the
yeah.
afternoon. Yeah, everybody who's not used to lifting at like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, as soon as you go to a meet and you're lifting at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, you're screwed.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Changing it up constantly. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really easy to get into that routine. It's nice having that routine, but I think it's also good to like kind of mix it up every once in a while.
yeah.
the second you have to change it, you're in shambles.
That's a lot of college kids that when I was on the Midland team, it was like we all had our school schedule. And then you did your homework and your other schedule. You probably even had a party schedule. We always partied every second Saturday of the month, dude. I don't care.
Second Saturday, that's crazy.
Some bull crap. But it's like, well, now I have the schedule. Now we got to travel to collegians. Okay, maybe collegians goes good. Now you're back and like, oh, no, why is everybody failing classes and do it? Well, we just throw off our routine for like a week. Now I can't recover from this. Like, yeah, you just be adaptable. Thought about that?
Yeah,
You ever tried changing it up?
You ever tried not being the same every day?
you know when like you train every day like in the morning,
Yeah.
and then you go to train in the evening, and it feels awful.
Yeah.
You know, it actually worked out for me because we trained at 12 every day.
Yeah. See, we just time it based on when you're gonna lift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
base your
just
whole
start-
base your whole life around this meet. You're gonna lose money and not gain any from at all.
But I think it's good to like mix it up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that train in the evening, they can't train in the morning.
Well,
because-
dude, like I know we don't have the same like circumstances as other people, but like we were sticking with 12 for a long time. And then one day we're like, I'm tired. Let's bench right now. It was like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Best bench day ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
we just-
it really helps reinforce that like I'm always this strong. I don't need these special
That's the other
circumstances.
thing, yeah,
I don't need these
exactly.
circumstances. I am this guy.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think that's a good way to look at it because that's also like the confidence thing.
yes.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Because
You're good for this lift any time of any day.
Especially when you're kind of like, hey, we're gonna do openers at midnight. What? Well, coach, I won't be as strong. No, you're gonna.
You will.
You're gonna smoke this.
You'll be fine.
There's no reason you don't smoke this unless you literally get in your head so much.
I think for a lot of people, just mix it up.
Yeah.
Do like if you train in the evening, just come in 4 a.m. see what happens.
Hey, dude, you'll
new
be so tired, but it'll be awesome. You'll have such a good time.
New training style. You have to hit your opener 2 weeks out, 3 times within one day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Wait.
opener.
What's that? There is something like that.
I
It's
could
like-
actually be gonna
Are
say
you
it.
talking about Rich Piana's 8-hour arm workout? No.
There's the
Hit your opener 8 hours.
8
a day.
hours a day.
there was like
every 8 hours. It's like EMOM.
there was an idea about that. Like if you can hit like 80% of your max every hour for like 24 hours.
I don't know. I never heard about that.
It was
I've always
something,
tried.
it was something along
I've heard
those
along the
lines.
same lines. Like your opener should be a number that like no matter what happens, you should be able to drop everything and do
Yeah,
it that
That's
day.
what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
It should be something you can hit for 3 on your worst day ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another
Which
great
we've
way.
proved. I did that when I was like super sick one time, and it was fine.
Yeah. And so like that just makes it easy because you're gonna go into the meet with that confidence.
Yeah.
And
Like even though you got the nerves going, you're like the weight's not the issue.
Yeah, the weight
You know,
isn't the
I
issue,
need
exactly.
to I need to execute.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know. So
and that just leads back to the idea of like people picking way too big of openers.
Yeah. It always everything always leads back to that.
And it's such a pet peeve. It's just stressful.
Yeah.
It's stressful. It's hard to watch.
Yeah. Well, that happened to I don't know what his name is. Some kid at Junior Worlds. They opened 5 kilos under his all-time PR, and he bombed out.
Yeah.
Because how are you supposed to hit that?
What was the reasoning behind that? Do you know?
Yes, I do, because I watched his coach talk about it. They wanted to. They wanted to. I forget exactly what he said. They opened 5 kilos under his all-time PR so that they had a better shot at
setup.
getting gold.
a setup placing.
Yeah,
But
that's garbage.
That's a terrible excuse.
Garbage.
I had to learn the hard way at Masters Nationals that it's not about chasing gold.
Yeah.
It's about chasing a placing. Because I still remember Tammy telling me that shit. I made a decision that I probably shouldn't have made, and it went from fourth, like it was between fourth
Yeah.
and fifth, fourth and first, when I probably could have just gotten second or third.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, there was a certain plan in place. It wasn't my athlete, blah blah blah. I still take responsibility because I majorly messed up, but I'll still remember Tammy asking me or telling me just straight up, never do that again. And I was like, okay. I'm like,
My bad.
That's on
that
me.
was on me. But that was a big learning experience. And I was like, yeah, you don't always want to chase first. You want to chase the placings.
And we had in college. It's always a team placing thing, like you experience at Worlds or NAPF. It's team placing. So
Yeah.
as an athlete, on a team, you need to prepare to make a sacrifice. You could pull for the win, and if you miss it, you're bumped down to fourth and win no points, or you could hold second place pretty confidently and
And you get the points. Yeah.
And so, one of my upperclassmen at Midland, he was supposed to win. The coach was like, "Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to?" Because the guy has like a soft ego, but he kind of matured, I guess, before I got there, and he was like, we need to get these points to win. And so he shot for second place. First place guy missed his third deadlift. He ended up winning anyway.
Oh,
There you go.
But he was completely happy to get second place. He was like,
You gotta do it for the
team
team.
needs me.
Yeah.
And so as a team sport powerlifter, learning that kind of stuff was super important. Like early in my development, I guess, as a coach, because you start thinking about that way with individual athletes anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's really cool.
dude, honestly, powerlifting team sport, team
Very
sport
cool.
wise, is the coolest thing ever.
I almost wish that's how it was.
You go to a local meet that's not Legions, not near you, and just everybody might cheer you on and stuff, but it's not the same when you got your team of 10 guys. If
Your friends.
if you sent a team of 15 people from American Iron to Open Nationals, and
which we might actually have.
when you're not when you're not
That's true.
competing, when you're not competing, you're cheering on those guys. It's just so nice. You're in foreign territory and you still hear these voices every time.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. And then you win something for your team, for your gym, for your bros, something like that. So
That's how it was for me at Collegiate Nationals, because I wasn't on the Nevada powerlifting team, but I warmed up with them. They're all my friends.
Technically, you were still part of the UNR team, though.
Yes, I was, but I wasn't in the club.
Yeah,
I wasn't
yeah.
in the club. That's what it was. I was on the team, but I
not
wasn't
the cool
in the
kid
club.
club.
But they're still all my friends. So I was still warmed up with them. It was great because we all had one rack, and there's everyone from every other school all around. So it's this is all my people, and then there's Hawaii's over here, Fresno's over here, and it's fun because you're just stuck with your friends.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with anybody that you don't know.
At USAPL, it's too big for that to happen. And so that also taught you these guys are just your opponents, not your enemies,
Right, yeah.
these are the guys that you're competing against them, but at the end of the day, you're all just lifting weights.
Yeah.
You're
You're just there to have fun.
just there to have
I
fun.
think that's a big thing. It's never looking at you don't want people to fail.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
no matter
You never preying on somebody dropping their deadlift.
No.
And so, like, to share that, you're not, like, even if they're your direct competitors, I think there was times where I shared the warm-up platform with, like, guys I was in the running with. And so it's like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
what are you going to do? We have to warm up. What am I going to tell them? No, this is my rack. I'm not an idiot.
No.
That-
Stop.
If I
think
heard,
you're the
if I heard that, we had that happen one year. A girl on the team was super toxic and said, "This is Midland's rack," and we're like, "Get out!
Mm-mm.
You're not warm." She's like, "I got to warm up." It's like, "You're not lifting anymore. Get out!" like
Good.
like that's what we did. We're like, "You're being a bad person.
You're the worst.
You are the worst right now."
That's like,
So,
yeah, that's just breeding a horrible environment.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine if powerlifting was like that. Well, sometimes it is, but like, imagine like if that was like a standard. Like, this is my rack.
yeah.
Go away.
That would,
No,
yeah.
that would suck. That would make it so, like, not fun at all.
No.
No, it'd ruin everybody's time.
Yeah.
And how do you expect new people to get in the sport if you're acting like
Yeah.
that?
That's why I like these novice meets we got, even with the strongman novice, especially if we have a bunch of like guys like you, Blake, Kai, even like younger people that are in the sport. You know, the guys that are just now learning lessons, and these guys are about to learn the lesson, and we already know the lessons. Like, just bringing that environment is like it's going to be less scary for those guys. They know what to do, where to
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a really big deal with these novice meets moving forward.
I think, yeah, we should probably start doing novice meets almost every year.
Yeah.
I mean,
If Nevada keeps putting on theirs,
Around
they're
this,
pretty cool.
the time you got this one going on is like perfect timing to that November-ish.
Yeah.
It's always a good
Everyone's
time.
here, you know?
All the UNR kids are here
Yeah.
for school.
Yeah. Everyone's around.
Everyone's around. You know, nobody's gone or gone home or anything yet, so that's like the perfect time to hold it.
Plus, all of us that know what's going on
Are still
will
here.
be here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so it makes it less scary too.
definitely.
so much less scary.
Because I don't know,
That's another huge benefit to having a coach, too.
less scary.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like if you know, there's somebody that, you know, you say you don't know anybody at a powerlifting meet, but you have a coach, you know somebody there.
Right.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah,
It was-
you're not alone.
I'm not gonna lie. I did a meet in Dallas in March, I think, and I was just by myself. I didn't know anybody. Nobody knew me, and I was like, "This is really weird already."
Exactly.
I'm just like, "What am I doing here by
Feels,
myself?"
I imagine that feels pretty uncomfortable.
It's
Yeah.
really weird because like
People are looking at you.
it's like it's not like the little things like asking to share a racket or like that's easy, but like I got nobody to like watch me. I like to watch for me. I can't ask anybody like how'd that lift go because they're focused on themselves. You know,
Yeah.
got no friends, got nobody to talk to. It's just kind of isolated, you know.
Yeah.
Versus all these people that know each other from that gym that you're lifting at or talking to each other. Like I couldn't imagine being a guy from out of state lifting at Legions and like, well, all these guys know each other.
Yeah.
I hate this.
It would have been odd for sure. For sure.
How did you feel like? How'd you start getting integrated into the gym? Do you like have any like pinpointed memories?
Like when I
about-
first came here?
Yeah.
I mean, I just started coming, and like, you know, I don't actually, I do know who the first person I met was. The first person I met was Blake, because he got me a day pass here for like my very first time, and I remember, you know, he was like, started a conversation with me. He's like, "Oh, like you doing like bodybuilding, powerlifting? Like what are you doing?" I like just like asking me all these questions, just being very nice, and then that's how like pretty much everybody at the gym is, you know, like you ask for a spot, they're gonna be like, "Oh, that was really good," you know, or like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like or-
Everyone's supportive.
yeah, you know, everyone's supportive. Everyone, even if you like fail the lift, they're like, "Oh, you know, maybe like try this next time," and everyone's like wants to see you succeed here, which is nice.
The gym does have an energy for like, because I hate asking for people to spot me at other gyms.
Mhm.
And even like when you were Blake working on, I was like, I need a spot. It's like, well, I feel like I can ask somebody here. You know, like it felt
Everyone wants to hear it.
everybody
almost
wants to
seems like.
spot you because you see these guys every day. You're like, well, there's at least something
Yeah.
relationship wise there.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we go to the same gym every day, every time. I should know this guy by now. You know.
Yeah,
And there should always be that like general respect
dude.
across the board.
we're all just here lifting weights.
I
you know?
hated asking people for spots in Dallas, man. I would see the same people all the time. Same thing. See people all the time, every day, doing the same thing with us, and just like, I'm not talking to these guys.
I guess it's like there's a big difference in culture. Did
Yeah.
you go to any other gyms besides?
Yeah, I started out going to Gold's Gym in California, not the original one, but like just a Gold's Gym. It was dog shit. It was like such a terrible like environment because I was barely deadlifting. I would deadlift maybe like once a month at this other gym, but like anytime you would, and I have like 135 on the bar, right? People are staring at you like you're insane. And no matter if you're like slamming the weight or like putting it down as gently as you can, they're just going to look at you and think you're crazy. And that's what you don't get here. Everyone's going to look at you and think that you're really cool, no matter what weight you have on the bar.
Yeah, point. If you're like kind of strong in Gen Pop environment, you're a freak.
Yeah,
Like,
people hate you.
You're isolated. You are an ogre.
Yeah, I'm always curious about that because I didn't spend too much time at other gyms.
Yeah.
So this gym in Midland feel about the same to me. Like they were just welcoming environments, family oriented type thing. And one was obviously college, one's I hate to say just a gym, but like it's a gym, you know.
It's not a college gym.
It's not an invite only gym. It's a gym. Anybody can go to this place. And so it's weird because like they both have great equipment, but if both of those places just had bumper plates and deadlift bars and I had to hit a squat day, I'd probably go to one of those two places still.
For the environment.
For the environment,
Yeah.
purely for the people, you know. The equipment helps. We've talked about this last time. The equipment's a big bonus, but like atmosphere, people, I don't care what the equipment is. If I feel welcome there, if I feel like I'm part of this crew here,
Totally.
I'll probably go there 10 out of 10 times.
Totally.
Yeah, and I think that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
It just helps that we also have to have high caliber equipment as well.
Yeah, it makes it a lot better.
It
makes it
way
great.
better.
Because yeah,
'Cause I went to a gym that had nothing but Alico and nothing but power and pound but like I just hated it, man. I didn't feel I hated there all the time.
It can quickly turn the people that go there like to be very entitled, I think, and I don't think that's happened here. Like people,
I don't think y'all allow it here because
Yeah.
like I think entitled people just get shunned.
That's true.
And so, like, it's like, well, this guy, he's going to talk crap, or he doesn't want to listen, or we try to help and he doesn't want to listen.
Yeah, just forget.
Why would I even waste my time?
Yeah.
And then they feel isolated. They don't realize they did it themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we've had plenty of people like that, but over time, I've seen like people change.
yeah, well, like,
That can totally
it's a
happen too,
different thing from being quiet than is just straight up be like,
Be stuck up.
I want to be stuck up and entitled.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think we're quiet, and I don't think anybody really approaches us with malice. It's just like, they don't know how to approach us. We're just quiet dudes. And then it's like, oh, they're lifting weights. I also lift weights.
I also do that.
See, I want to help everybody as
Yeah.
much as possible.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't matter like what it is.
Mhm.
The main thing is making sure that everyone actually feels comfortable in
Dude,
the
I hope
environment.
I hope somebody's just like, hey, can you spot me? I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm good at.
Dude, no, yeah, I kind of like I get excited when people ask me to spot them. I'm like, all right, yeah.
Show off my spotting technique.
Yeah, but since we did it as basically a living.
Yeah, still is.
Yeah, it's
is.
true.
Waiting for my check from Powerlifting America still
What?
for spotting.
There's
When?
no check.
Yeah, there's no
you
check.
get a free membership.
Oh, great.
You get a month membership.
I
That
think,
counts.
Yeah, just
That's a
1
check.
month.
That is basically a check.
Yeah.
And you got that cool orange T-shirt.
I did. That thing is awesome.
I do like that thing a lot. I wear mine a lot.
Makes me look like an orange.
You already do, sweetie.
Well, do you have any final words?
If you don't go to this American Iron, you should. That's what I got.
Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, there's people that like when I tell them that I go to American Iron, they're like, oh, they like kind of look at me weird. They're like, oh, isn't that place like they always play like the heavy metal music and it's like really scary in there? I'm like, nah. Like
No.
we play like loud music, but come in here, just lift weights. It's fun.
Everyone's nice.
Yeah.
Everyone's supportive.
Yeah.
I think this is the nicest gym like I've ever been in.
No one. I don't think I've ever met anybody in here where I look at them like that guy's a dick. Everyone in here is like very nice.
I mean, that's a very good thing.
Yeah.
We really try to harbor that environment. Like,
Yeah.
we want everyone to feel comfortable and safe. Because it's not just like a powerlifting gym. It's not just like a bodybuilding gym. It's like a place for everybody to come.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the sport is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's tons of, I hate to say like tons of old people, but like, people that aren't like bodybuilding or powerlifting, people that just come to like have a healthy lifestyle that come here too.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice. Just sorry, last thing, but when they see us just like interacting, 3 guys talking and not wearing headphones or something, like that's where it kind of is like this is an open environment. Like I said in Texas, it's like everybody's individual there. They might have a gym bro maybe, but like everybody's individual. But like here, it's like wow, like everybody knows themselves already. I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick my foot in there real quick, or it's like I'll ask for a spot. Now these guys are gonna talk to me.
Now we're friends.
Now we're friends.
Yeah, it's really easy just to strike up a conversation.
But I think
Yeah.
I think having that welcoming environment helps a lot. Like you see these people talking and enjoying themselves, and they're also really strong. It just adds to it,
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy just to come up to someone here at
Yeah.
the gym and just talk to them.
Yeah.
And make friends.
Completely.
And that's where we're at.
There we go.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on, Kai.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course.